and we'll check
Oh my
that
God.
it's on.
I'm so excited.
We're live, Silvana.
Yeah?
Now, for some reason, yeah, we gotta share.
But we're not like live, like this kind.
Oh God!
You gotta look at me.
Already, there's an issue. It's a big show tonight, and you're causing mayhem.
Already?
Already. And, you don't seem to care. That's what bugs me out sometimes.
The mayhem started backstage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's called chemistry, people. There is nothing better in this world, in this lifetime, than chemistry and
Really?
love.
Well,
Love
you
and
do.
chemistry? Oh my God.
Silvana does love chemistry. Ironic, she failed it in high school, so you can go figure out.
Not that kind of chemistry. You know what I mean?
Come on.
The pheromone kind.
Let's just say I know something that you don't know, Silvana.
Really?
Yes. Believe it or not. Can you dig it? Let me just share this over here. Is it on your page, Silvana? Did you take care of business yet, or you're dilly-dallying? Dare I say. Silvana.
Yeah.
It's on your page.
Dilly dally all the way. You know how I roll.
Let me just share this one more time, and we can get going. Come on.
Let me ask you something. A friend of mine advised me for you to share it publicly so that she could share it to her page. My dear
Yes.
friend and advisor, Liz Coppola.
Wow.
I love you, Liz. And tell Chris to make it public.
Isn't it public? Why would it be private?
It's only friends. You have it shared as only friends.
Let me dig it.
I dig it. Thank you, Liz. Shout out to my advisor, my spiritual advisor, Liz Coppola, Mother Courage.
It's public. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lynn. What a fantastic Liz.
Liz Coppola, Mother Courage. She has a page, Mother Courage. She advises me to my highest good.
Look at Silvana. All right, you ready, Sil? What do you think about this music playing here tonight?
Yes. It's good stuff.
It's an original piece. We have our own, guys, the debut of our official theme song for Live from Jersey, written by none other than Lynn Portis, who is going to be on the show tonight. How exciting! All right, we're going to go and show our faces. At least Silvana first.
Nah, let's do that even thing. Even Steven.
I like the way you talk. You're going full frame. Here's Silvana. Look at her. She never ceases to amaze, this lady. She's just a bundle of energy. She knows how to have fun, and she believes in love. We're going to fade the music out, guys. Oh, that was really a fade. That was it. There we go. I'm gonna come on with you, and holy cow, guys! What a show do we have tonight, guys? I am Chris DePierro. This is Live from Jersey with Silvana Mastrolia and myself.
Hey, everybody.
Yes, we come on every now and then. No, every Monday, sometimes Wednesday.
Yeah,
And,
every now and then.
Live
every
from.
now and then. Remember Kim Carnes?
Oh yeah, great song, Kim Carnes. What a voice on that lady, huh? But
Amazing.
Silvana wanted to make sure everybody knows that today was National Cheeseburger Day. Is there anything you
Yes.
want to say about a cheeseburger that everybody should know about, Silvana?
Where's the beef?
We're going to show that actual commercial later on, famous commercial. But we have a guest tonight that we're going to interview. We don't normally interview people, so I'm so excited to do this tonight. He is a Staten Island legend, legit. I know some people say that offhand, but this guy has done so much for the island of Staten. You go and read some of his segments from the website I had, giving back to the whole people of the Rotary Club. He's just done it all. He's a musician. He's a business owner. He's appeared at Carnegie Hall, the Copacabana. He probably got thrown out of the Copacabana. I can't wait to hear the story. This is Al Lambert. Holy cow. You talk about handsome.
Welcome. Yes. I was flirting.
Al, how are you? Oh, I can't hear. Oh, wait. Say it again. Al, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really great. A tremendous introduction.
Really? That's great to have you. Look great. In classic Staten Island way, Al is inside of his car. Lord knows what's going on over there. I'm not asking any questions. But now I know what $1 million looks like looking at Al.
Absolutely. And those are some beautiful,
guys.
cool
Join us also the genius Lynn Portis. Look at her. She's done so much for so many people. If you had a party, the place would be packed for Lynn Portis.
Well, yes.
And Lynn is a historian about Al's career, and she's going to join in, and we're going to talk about Al. But Al, thank you again. We really appreciate you coming on.
You're totally welcome. It's always a pleasure. Totally. I feel like I know you both for a long time.
I know. You're so cool.
It's amazing.
You know, having a connection like Lynn Portis, it's like just validation for everybody. Everybody involved.
Well, exactly. Exactly.
That's how I feel about you guys.
If you know Lynn, and the credibility goes right both ways, that's all you have to do. You're a friend of Lynn, I'm good.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
She's a quality person.
It is.
And to be on the bandstand with her over the years, my God. Incredible.
Well, I'm so happy you brought that up.
We agree with you. We agree with you 1,000%. Lynn is everything that's beautiful in this world.
All right, enough.
Love you.
That theme song was terrific, and I loved it.
No.
Yes.
Well, what happened was, Chris,
great.
it really didn't do much. I just let a program run, and I played bass, and he says, yeah, give me like something that I want to dance. And just kept that drum.
So cool. So cool. I wanted to dance in my car.
Well, that's the whole point. It worked.
So this is what happened. Chris plays music for me all the time because I'm like, I need something, I need something. Give me a little something. And he does well.
Right.
But tonight,
Go ahead.
he knocked it out of the park and did not tell me it was Lynn before it even happened.
That's
So
cool.
I'm over here like,
just trying to be a little spontaneous, get those good reactions from people.
And he's like, do you like it? Do you
Great.
like it? And I was like, yeah, I love it. Great job. And then he told me, Lynn, thank you so much, you brilliant, beautiful.
No, I didn't do anything.
Woman. Thank you. You did everything.
No.
That was really cool.
I honor you and admire you, and thank you so much.
Yes. So Al, Staten Island and you, perfect together. You were born there. You live in the beautiful state of New Jersey right now, but you're in Staten Island all the time. Tell us about your beginning in the business. When did you realize that you know what, this is what I want to do?
That's tremendous question. I was in the second grade singing a song called "Oh My Papa." It was #1, recorded by Eddie Fisher. And I was on stage, and I couldn't figure out how to stop singing the song. I couldn't get to the ending, and they kept putting them going like this to me, the teachers, you know. And that was my first time. But the first time I got paid, I got $20 to sing 2 songs. I took a date to the event. I had a great time. I got $20. That was like $100 when I started
For
out.
2 songs?
And I said,
Hey,
wow.
I'll take it tomorrow.
2 songs. I said to myself, this is what I want to do. You know, it was like amazing.
Tavern on the Green? Was that Tavern on the Green?
Tavern on the Green on Staten Island. We had a Tavern on the Green.
Uh-huh.
It was on Neudorf on Staten Island, on Highland Boulevard. Yep.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful place. But I did sing at the Tavern on the Green in New York too. But when I was a kid, when I was young, it was the Tavern on the Green on Staten Island. Big place.
Right.
Pretty
Now,
cool.
how when you decided you wanted to get into the business, how was your support? Did you have a good support system? People encouraging
my
you?
mother
or?
and father, they were afraid. You know, I was 15 years old. I was singing in nightclubs where you had to be 18 to be in them.
At 15?
I knew all the nightclubs. Yeah.
That's
At
amazing.
15, I was singing with, in all these clubs that, like Dangerfield played in those clubs, and Lou Monte. I sang with Lou Monte when I was 16.
Phenomenal.
You know, Dominic the Donkey Guy.
Yes.
And, but I was a kid. Well, my father was a liquor salesman,
Wow, nice.
So I was raised in the business. Yeah, I was raised in the business. And we had a lot of groove bars on Staten Island.
Yeah.
But you're right. It was the fun business.
I love it. I love it.
It was made for me.
Yeah. That's what me too.
Right, Lynn?
Yes,
we could have been there.
Wouldn't have traded it for the world. If we had to go back, we'd do it again.
Yes.
Someone said to me, you could be a doctor and make $3 million a year, but you'd have to give up singing. I'd say, you keep your $3 million, you keep your doctor. I'm gonna have a good time singing.
Yes. I
Keep
applaud
it all.
you.
I got a few people watching the show. The great Rob Meyer says, this guy is handsome.
That's Al.
Here?
My God.
Yes.
That's very
Dare I
funny.
say,
You're right, Rob.
yes.
You are.
And Rob, he would love to do a duet with you.
Oh, you got to hear his voice, Rob. Wait till you hear him sing.
Oh my God.
Oh, yes, that would be great. Maybe.
You're gonna sing for us.
He sings.
Guys, this is huge.
Okay, that's all.
I-
I'm gonna shut up. You
Please
got to
don't.
learn who Al Lambert is.
Yes.
It's very funny.
Yes. We kind of had like this whole thing a little backstage, and what a vibe, and what a lovely, handsome, sexy, talented
My God.
man.
His wife's gonna get jealous.
Every Monday.
And he's got a gorgeous wife.
I know. I heard all about her, and I can't wait to meet her and talk to her. Hopefully. Lenore. In a little
She
bit.
may walk in later. Chris, I got to tell you, people say, why did you move to Jersey? You're such a dyed-in-the-wool Staten Islander. And I tell them, well, my ex-wife got the house. My new wife had a house. So I lived with her.
I love that you can laugh about everything, Al.
It was a
Oh, my
no-brainer.
God.
That's
a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
And how important that is life to have a great sense of humor and keep that going.
Oh, my God.
So,
Exactly.
okay, so
You
what,
don't
you
have
start gigging around? You start singing in restaurants and stuff?
Yeah, I
That's
did. I
that-
started doing anything. Anywhere anybody would ask me to sing, I would sing. That's it.
Yeah.
But, in those days, I started out doing some Long Island gigs for all the offices in Long Island. They would do the weddings and the parties. And
Tell him what
they
an
would join the
office.
union.
What is an office, Al? Explain what an office is.
A music office. They say he has an office. In the club date terms, it means you put a lot of bands out. You book not just one band, you book many bands.
Uh-huh.
And you put these different bands in different catering halls and shows and banquets. And many times the office would sell their band, and then they would send any band out and sometimes you would meet on the bandstand, and you
Screamer.
had to play this gig as if, yeah. And I used to have to handle these screamers. I'd get extra money, and I don't know if you know what a screamer is, Chris, but a screamer meant when you got to the gig and you told the bride that you were the band, and she expected this other band, she'd go, "You're not my band."
Oh, the God.
True.
And I got extra money for being the guy that had to put up with it.
Yep.
Amazing.
So, and so I would do it and have to do it. I hated it, but I was getting paid. I was learning the business, and it was what it was. And then
you were
after a
having
while, I
fun.
got sick of that.
I'm sure you were having fun.
I was having a ball,
Yeah.
but I had to join the union as a bass player. You couldn't join as a singer. So I made believe I played the bass, and I used to carry the bass, put the microphone in my mouth, and I'd go. And they go,
You are officially the coolest dude I ever met.
That's out. That's out. You're right, Silvana.
but it's all true.
Ding, ding, ding,
So you wouldn't
I
wouldn't
love you,
think
Lynn. I love you.
you wouldn't think there's a network of you guys who just kind of just gigged around and formed the bands kind of
Well,
spontaneously.
there is,
Chris,
there is.
and
There
back
were so
then,
many
a lot of phone
musicians.
calls. No,
Phone
texting
calls.
each other.
And you didn't have GPS. You had to do 2 gigs sometimes in a day. Be in Long Island in the morning and New Jersey at night. And you didn't have what do you call GPS. You had to figure this out and map it out. Oh my God!
You had a map, a folding map, right?
Oh,
You had a map.
this is great.
What
Joe.
is it, the Rand McDaniel?
I did
Whatever.
too.
You
That's
had
right.
The Rand McDonald.
I remember.
Yeah, with the Rand McDonald's.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. But then I started my own band, obviously, because I didn't want to put up with that.
Yeah.
So you made a little more money and you did your own gigs. And then I got really big. I became the busiest band on Staten Island for about 25 years, 30 years.
Wow, what a run.
And
Still
and then I
going.
ran my own. Then I had an office where I started an office too, where I put other bands out. But I didn't do screamers. I made people hear the actual band they always got. I did chokers because I didn't believe in that screamer stuff.
Yeah.
But it kind of worked, But it worked. But then I was opening act for Rodney Dangerfield and Pat Cooper and Chuck
Yes.
Mangione.
Legends.
I did all of that too.
Legends.
But Dangerfield, I worked for him for 3 years. He was a total lunatic, but he was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
He was crazy.
Yes.
But
That's
the experience
lot of
there
fun.
was. Right. It was a lot of fun. He liked to drink and do his cocaine. He was a double doer.
Yeah.
So he was a pretty much, but he was always friendly. He was never nasty. He
Right.
wasn't a
Well,
nasty
why would
drunk
you?
or
You're on cocaine and you're drunk.
I mean, he was like so cool, and he was out of it.
Yeah. Boy, it was so loose back then, man. Everything was just.
Yeah, it was totally different.
Yeah, it's
totally
amazing
different.
we made it through those years.
I don't know. I agree.
Yes.
I agree. But Lenny has a history too, of course, which is beyond incredible, and a resume that scares most people. But I got to say one thing. If I don't say anything, I always tell, and Lenny will tell you, at the end of the night when I'm introducing or the band, I always say, if it wasn't for the musicians, I wouldn't have learned anything. If you're a singer and you really want to learn, you listen to the musicians and always hire the best musicians. That's what I always did.
Yeah.
I never watered down the musicians on the bandstand. That's how the singers can really learn, and the people get the best music that money provides.
Was there competition? Was there competition with the musicians to be part of?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Well, yeah, there was, to be part of my band. But I had about 35 people in my band. This year I'm celebrating 60 years.
60 years. Unbelievable.
And Lenny, I have to call you.
Yeah.
I have to call you with the date.
Okay.
It's going to be.
So
All
you're
right, talk to
celebrating
you later.
60.
Well, Chris has to come
60
in video.
years.
60
I
years?
will.
Chris will
I would
come.
love to.
I didn't
Yeah.
think you were a day
I would love
over,
to do that.
I did not think you were a day over 55. I mean it.
Well, That's
your
probably have a
vibe,
bad
your
connection.
vibe, your vibe is like
25.
25.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I like
love
to think I'm in the game, you know. But if you're not going to be in the game, get out of the game.
Wait.
See?
You're not in the game. You own the game.
Look at Silvana Mastrolia, boy. She is.
Lynn, get her a bottle of champagne for me.
Yeah,
Will you?
I'll send it out.
Champagne.
Well, if
Where's
we're
the
gonna
champagne?
turn back the clocks a little, let's see, Al.
Yes.
Ah,
about that?
Lambert.
Let's talk about this
Wow.
picture.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about this picture
my
for an hour and a half. There's a lot there.
Sideburn. Look at the
There's a lot
sideburns,
there.
Al.
Oh,
That
my
is
That's what I was
awesome.
It's so
Elvis
That's when
who?
I
This
was doing
guy.
100 Yeah, I was doing 125 gigs a year when that picture was taken.
Wow,
was-
Al.
I would drink wine for breakfast, wine for lunch, and wine for dinner.
Oh.
So I was
This is
really,
my favorite menu.
You found your
I was,
dream guy, yeah, Silvana.
Oh my god.
And he lives in
and
Parliament.
you want to die. That microphone I still have it.
Still
It's
uses
the
it.
one that was used. Yeah, it was
Unbelievable.
on the Dean Martin show and all those big shows in the 70s. That's one of the best microphones. It's an Electro voice. I had them redone.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so clear. Wow.
It's
You really went
amazing.
to the archives. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely amazing.
So you said you did this for 25 years.
Club dates.
Club dates. I'm sorry. Thank
Club
you.
dates, yeah. Yeah, I did that for. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So when did that end? What year, more or less?
No.
Well, it never ended. It dwindled. In other words, 25, 30 years, and then I would do 80 of those gigs instead of 125, and then 60. DJs were coming, and bands were going out, and then the DJs pretty much took over the business, and I had to constantly reinvent myself. And I brought a girl in the band, a girl singers, and I got business again. And then everything was lost because the DJs they started to really take over at that point. When I came in, it was illegal. You couldn't have a DJ in a catering room. The union would close the catering room.
Wow.
So yeah, they were strict union rules. And the Huntington Townhouse in Long Island, the owner got so mad, and he fought the union, and he won. That you didn't have to have union music in live events. So, it killed the whole business when the Huntington Townhouse, got mad and pissed off and all that. So the DJs were able to take over. Prior to that, they couldn't, even if they wanted to.
So there must have been some hard feelings.
Well, there was in a way, but I found other ways to stay in the business. I did shows and I got involved in theater and I directed theatrical productions and I still kept the band, but I still did a lot of gigs. But I didn't do 100 gigs. I went into another aspect, And now I kind of do the same thing. I produce a show every 30 days, so to speak,
Yeah.
and bring people to different locations. But I've done some pretty big shows. One show, I got to tell you this. I did a couple of shows where I had 125 people on the stage. I have a chorus of
Yes. Oh my
65
God.
singers and 65 songs. And Lynn, after the third rehearsal, threw all the music away. She knew every song, every key, every introduction. After 3 rehearsals.
Yeah. That's what bugs me out about Lynn sometimes. You start thinking about how the universe began and how Lynn can do all of that. Those are the two things I ponder.
It's incredible.
No,
It was
too
incredible.
lazy to
People
read
were-
the music. I'd rather play
People were
it.
watching her instead of the show. They couldn't believe that she had no music in front of her.
Oh, man.
No matter when we do a show, I'm always laughing because I'm not watching it. I get to watch you instead of the music. Sometimes when you're playing and piano players are obsessed with their music, they don't really listen or they can't
don't
keep
feel
their
the
eyes
show.
on everything. So it's a way to be free to listen.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But that's how it was. Chris, do you play too? Do you do any music? Are you?
Unfortunately I don't. I tried to the piano when I was younger, and I got through the first grade, and then the beginning of the second grade, I just couldn't. I couldn't handle all the notes being played, and I remember all
Yeah,
my
it's
friends
overwhelming.
outside asking me to go play wiffle ball, and I'm trying to play the piano. And so
Isn't that
eventually
the
they
truth?
won
That's
over.
what
Yeah.
happens. Yeah, happens.
But yeah, I
What
understand
happens?
music, and I could read notes, I guess. But I strum the guitar. That's what I do. I like to
Oh, you
strum the
do?
guitar.
Good.
So
Okay.
yeah. So
Well, that's a good thing.
yeah, it's fun.
And
It's relaxing.
Yeah, it is fun.
So
And I looked at Silvana on Facebook. She's an actress.
yes, Silvana has been.
A D-, but
That's
I tried my
impossible.
best. You know what I mean?
She's famous in Jersey.
Sure you do.
That's what I always. Yeah, very famous. But yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, she's a great actress. She's one of my actresses. I'm a director in a few projects. Gavon's Produce,
Wow.
which is the web series that I do, and Lynn does all the music for, which is she's so generous and giving of her time. And Miami a Bust. She was in Miami a Bust, the movie that I did a bunch of years ago. About 3 guys from Hoboken have to drive to Miami in 24 hours to win a bet that they made at a card game.
Wow.
Yes,
And
thank you.
let's not forget that we did Tony and Tina's.
Oh yes! Oh my
Oh,
God!
yes.
Tony and Tina's wedding.
I
That's
didn't
where
know
I
that.
met
That's
Lynn.
very cool.
That's- yeah.
I didn't know that. I went
I
to that
didn't
a
know,
couple
Al.
of times.
Yes.
Now
Where
I
did you
got
see the
it.
show? Where did you see the show?
Now you got
I
it?
saw it when it was in the church on what was the street the church
Christopher
was in,
Street.
and we all walked to the
Christopher
and
Street.
we walked to okay, Christopher Street, right? And we walked to the hall
Yes.
for the
Yeah.
spaghetti and the lettuce. I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. You saw the original show,
Yes.
kind of. That's where it was
Lynn,
born.
were you in that show?
Yes.
Were you? Oh, and so you guys have been friends all that time.
We've been Al. How many years? I don't know. My kids were just born when we met. 35
You
years.
and I, yeah, that was
40 years.
early '80s.
Before
Yeah,
that,
early
yeah.
'80s. Yeah,
Wow.
before that.
Yeah.
But we only met because one night I was having a fight with my ex-wife, and I was in this restaurant bar. I think it was even a Sunday, and there was 3 people in the place, and Lynn's playing the piano.
Oh
So I'm listening, I'm going, Jesus, this girl is tremendous. So I walked over and I said, you are out of this world. And she says, I think I know you. I said, well, my name is
Everybody
Al.
knows Al.
Wait a minute. She goes, you're Al Lambert. You want to sing? Right? And then I wound up doing the rest of the gig with her.
That is a classic.
And we're still together.
Oh.
Yes.
We never had a fight. Al, we never had a fight.
Never had a fight. Never had a
Isn't that
fight.
amazing, man?
Yeah.
Just by chance, and
Wonderful
such a
relationship.
friendship is
Yep.
born that
I am
is so
crying. I'm looking
Right.
for a
solid
tissue.
for years, and how much fun is that? And that's where you first met her?
Seriously, I gotta get a tissue.
Yeah. Club date.
That's where I
On a
first
club
met her.
date.
Club date.
Well,
Yep.
that's a restaurant. So Al, it gets a little confusing
Well,
to
yeah.
people. When we talk about a club date, we think of a gig, a job. A gig is a job where there's a catering hall, could be a club date. Most of the time, jazz players call it also a club date. It depends on. I mean, the genre. There's so many. I was telling Chris there are so many words we use.
Mhm.
I said an Al.
They're wrong.
But those places he's talking about, the clubs that we worked when I was 16, I did the Playboy Club. That was my first gig.
Hmm.
I was 16, and they told me I didn't show my proof back then because that was 1978, right? Whatever, 77. They told me just don't talk to anybody. Whatever
You
you
look like
see.
a kid, by the way. You
Yeah, I
look
was a
like
kid, but
you
girls
look
back
like
then.
one now. So.
No, but I looked
That year is
probably
just
14.
registered in my brain.
But they wanted
She
you to
never
play.
ages.
But
No,
we
she's
went
beautiful.
through. We had our equipment, and we went through like the worst places you ever want to see. You may look at the St. Regis and say, "Oh, it's great," but not when you go through the service elevator with the like rats and Slime, right, Al? All the slime we had to walk through.
Oh my God!
The worst.
And what about thousands of pounds of equipment on an elevator where you think the elevator is not even going to go up anymore?
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
So you're putting all the
Oh,
equipment
my
and
God.
stuff on there, the elevator,
Everything on one
And
side.
and it's struggling to get up.
And then,
Yep, we got stuck in the Waldorf Astoria, Lynn. I got
Yeah.
stuck in the elevator, and I had to handle the elevators with.
with
Oh
the
my
handle,
God.
yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
That's great. I love it.
No, but
what a
the
story.
slime. I mean, most of the
Waldorf.
people will tell you down the road. Chris, we're gonna kind of preview if this documentary ever takes place, but it would be about the kitchens. We have to walk through the kitchen,
Yes.
and there's lots of jokes about it. You know, Al, what's the joke with the guy who goes to heaven? Al
Well,
Bow's
the
joke.
first guy says,
Al Bow, the classical musician. Three guys.
Yeah, he gets the same. Well, there's a few of them. One guy gets the St. Peter's. He says, St. Peter says, "How much money do you make?" He says, "I make $400,000 a year." He says, "You're a lawyer. Go right in."
Oh,
The next guy goes up there and says, "Oh yeah." He goes, "How much money do you make?" He says, "I make $800,000 a year." He says, "You're a doctor. Walk right in." The next guy comes up and says, "How much money do you make?" He says, "I make $9,000 a year." He says, "You must be a musician. Go to the kitchen."
Go to the kitchen. Oh, that's another one. Go to the kitchen. So when they say go to the kitchen, the idea is you don't want to open up these beautiful glass doors or walk through people with amplifiers or wires. And musicians, it depends on how far the gig was. Sometimes you go in your street clothes and you go to the ladies' room and you put your dress on, depending on where you were coming from. But most times we look beautiful. We're all dressed, and the guys always wore tuxes. But we had to go through the kitchen. So it doesn't mean it's the fastest way to where we have to go in the end. Usually it's the opposite. But it's not just that. It's dangerous walking through a kitchen. And when you're a girl and you have stilettos on and you got to walk past a bunch of guys that don't speak English and they're going, it's very difficult. And you can't make one trip. It's like 5 trips.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because you can't you can't take a hand truck full of shit and walk through a narrow space,
Right.
But the big joke is you see us on the bandstand, but to get to that point in a club date, we don't walk through the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Just like everybody's there, but you have no idea how long it took us to get where we are. Right, Al?
Yeah, and how hard we work.
Congratulations. God bless.
Al, you had a gig at West Point that time. West Point, we had and I'm there. I'm on my way to the gig. It was like a wedding or something.
At the Thayer Hotel in West Point.
No, it was actually so I had to go through the gates, the West Point.
Yep. You had to go through the gates,
well,
right in the place.
Did you know it? They wouldn't let me through the gate because I had with me this box, the sound canvas at the time, which was like a sound module, they called it. It looked like a bomb. I don't know. They would not let me through with this thing. And I was not going to leave it. Well, you go into West Point and, even if, anytime you played for the president or anybody, the Secret Service, it's always a pain in the ass. We have to get there very early because they have to check equipment. Like you're walking in with big things,
Yeah.
But I don't know why I thought of that. But remember, I couldn't get through.
Oh, that's great.
I remember that.
I had to call. Your nephew got married or something.
That's right. It was my nephew that got married there. He was a lieutenant colonel.
They check your trunk.
Oh, wow.
Jeez. That's right.
They're checking my trunk.
Well,
God.
I want to hear. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
Oh,
what was your question?
Yeah, I want some behind the scenes. You guys are talking about, getting to the gig and stuff like that. Tell me something that happened, just before you went on stage.
Oh, God.
Maybe something you didn't expect. I'm sure it's the last second thing.
I got one for you. You mentioned that hotel before, the St. Regis.
Yeah.
I'm doing a gig there. Mayor Giuliani was doing the wedding ceremony.
Yeah.
So all all his people, his security,
Secret Service, security.
Right. So it was a 6-hour event. You know, we had to do the church, not the church, but in the actual hotel, and then the cocktail hour, and then the party, and then the overtime. So I had about 9 musicians, and I don't know if you remember this. I was walking all over. I had an equipment guy, Giorgio, at that time, and we're walking all over the place. And all of a sudden, 2 guys come out. And they say, "You two, get in that room."
Oh.
I go, "No, I'm the band. I don't care who you are. Get in that room over there." And the Secret Service put us in this room. Now I'm shitting my bed. And the guy said, what do we do? So all of a sudden, 2 minutes later, a guy opens the door. He purposely hits it real hard. And I went back. He was a friend of mine that I grew up with on Staten Island. He was playing a joke on me. He was the head of Giuliani's security. And he said, I got you. Just like that.
Oh my God,
We
man!
were really afraid. We didn't know what the hell we did.
He must have been in his glory, getting over on you like that. You know how
Terrace on the Park. You just just tell people Terrace on the Park was in Queens by Flushing Meadows. We called it Terror on the Park, because you can never find your way there.
Yeah, Lynn, I'm glad you brought that up, Lynn.
The worst was always going to a wedding, playing the wedding. It's the wrong wedding, because there's so many weddings. That's happened not once, twice.
Yeah.
You're in a cocktail hour. It's the wrong party.
And that's Tavern on the Park. What other great Terrace on the Park? I'm sorry. What other great Staten Island venues did you perform?
Staten Island. Go out. Start out.
Well, we did. The Shalimar was like the biggest venue on Staten Island.
Highland Boulevard.
And
everybody got married there.
The place. Oh yeah, it was really a beautiful place. Don't get me wrong, and but weddings constantly. A lot of Italian weddings, of course, here and there. But I remember I had a guy. I did a banquet there, Lynn. I don't know if you remember this. They made me hire a comedian. It was 600 people, and they wanted a comedian. And I said to them, "Look, comedians are never clean." So they go, "No, well, we don't know that, but get me the cleanest you can get." So I did. At 600 people, I get this comedian. And the owner, rather the guy who booked us, he knew the comedian. He said, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you got him." So the comedian, I told him, don't get too dirty. He gets on stage, and all of a sudden, halfway through his act, he starts getting dirty. And there were 8 nuns in the booth.
Oh God!
Sitting, right. So now the people are coming over to me it was a hospital gig, and they're going, "You got to get him off. You get him off." I said, "I ain't gonna get him off. I'm gonna ruin this guy's career. He's got another 15 minutes. I'm going to walk in the middle and say, you got to get off." I wouldn't do it. Right. So he went to these other 2 guys, the banquet managers, and they said the same thing to me. They said, "We ain't going to embarrass that guy. The hell with the nuns. We didn't even care."
The hell with the nuns.
Anyway, bottom line was, when he got off, you only had about 4 people clapped. They went,
"Oh."
It was horrible. And I felt bad. But I paid the guy. I told the people, from the party, they were supposed to pay him. I said, "Look, you don't have to pay him. I'll pay the guy. But you wanted a comedian, and I warned you, and people sometimes can be very funny about that stuff. Very hard to find a clean, comedian. You only see that on television. Right. You don't see that in the.
And they say they want it. They want you. I want nice, easy music, Lynn. Could you play like something low key? I want the whole party very low key. Yeah. And then you play 1 minute. They're like, "Could you pep it up?" Somebody comes over and
I can
dance it up. We want to dance.
I can totally.
I don't have that with me. I'm a
2 glasses of wine into the gig.
Yeah.
They go, "Can you play something fast?
Yeah.
Can you play something fast?"
Yeah, suddenly it's your fault.
The bride wants.
They're blaming you.
The bride wants a string quartet. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Very hard.
Tough business.
It is a tough, but now it's cool.
Do you see any grooms fainting at the reception? Any crazy things like that? Hey, it's Joe in the background. Hello, Joe.
That's a good story.
What?
I sing at the churches too sometimes, Chris. I do the Ave Maria and the Lord's Prayer.
Oh, wow, that must sound amazing.
That too.
He's gonna sing something before we go.
Too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
I'm
So
behind the
thank you.
bride and groom, and I'm singing the first four lines of the Lord's Prayer, and the groom hits the deck. He faints. So I run out. I'm the closest thing, and everybody's. This is in Bayonne, New Jersey. It's St. Henry's, right?
Beautiful Bayonne.
I run out there. I got the guy on the ground, and I'm telling everybody, move out, let him breathe, you know. And the bride is screaming, everybody is screaming, and I got the guy in my hand. So I'm letting him breathe, and I'm trying to take. I open up his shirt, his tux, and somebody says to me, "This is no lie. Hey, this guy standing next to you is a doctor." I said, "He's a doctor, and I'm down here." And the doctor goes, "It's all right, you're doing a good job." And he walked away. True story. I got the guy all nice. I got him a little water, and I put the wedding back together again.
So the singer saved a life instead of the doctor.
Wow.
Exactly.
Oh,
It was amazing, an amazing night.
you
My
getting
wife
pulled
Lenore
over?
is
What's
just
going
coming
on?
No, my wife.
You getting a ticket?
Is that
My
Lenore?
wife Lenore is coming in. Come on in.
Oh, great!
Yes.
Wow. I can't wait to meet her.
I wish I had a drum roll. I'd be. Lenore, I know it's so late. It's after 9 o'clock for you guys, but Lenore, thank you so much for almost being on the show. There she is. Yes, beautiful. How are you? Thank you so much, dear. How was the meeting? I'm Chris, and this is the beautiful Silvana Mastrolia. She's my co-host, and you know, of course,
Nice
Oh.
Lynn
to
Portis.
meet you.
How'd your meeting go?
Yes.
Were
Our
you in the
meeting went
meeting?
very well.
Nice.
We were in a meeting for the Miss Staten Island contestants for this year.
Yes, I was
Oh,
reading up on you. You run that a great organization. When is the pageant?
The Miss Staten Island pageant is November 19th.
Oh, so it's coming up.
On Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting close to crunch time.
Yep.
Do you need a live
Couple of months.
podcast from the pageant? We'll come down and do a live podcast.
Maybe we do.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
Love
could be
that.
Oh, Chris, that'll be great.
Yeah, well, why
guys-
not?
You gotta move in the camera. Ow! I don't see you.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
there you go.
Okay, I'm sorry. Get in together with you like this.
Get
There you
in.
go.
Beautiful
Close,
Lenore. We want
There
to
you
see
go.
Lenore.
We take a lot
No.
of pictures like this, actually.
I love it.
That's
Well,
perfect. Look, guys look so cute.
There you
Look
go.
at that.
If you look on Facebook, we got about 20 pictures like this.
Yeah.
So
Lenore
speaking
sings
of
in the
pageants,
band too.
Yes.
speaking of pageants,
What's that,
Lenore,
Silvana?
you
Uh,
you have titles. Can you please tell us about your beauty titles, beautiful lady?
Well, okay. So this past June, I was in a pageant that's titled The Age of Elegance for Women Over 60. It was the Miss New Jersey Senior America. And I didn't win, but I did get first runner up. So I was proud of that.
Wow! Congratulations!
Thank you very much. And we are now a group of women that travel the state of New Jersey doing different musical shows for more elderly senior communities and people who appreciate our age.
That is so wonderful,
Yeah.
and beautiful. And you know what? I think more people than you think appreciate all age groups and embrace that right now. I do.
Yeah,
I
I
do.
agree with you.
I hope so.
Yes.
Well,
Look at that.
And I would absolutely love to be a part of that.
Come on. How could you lose? Wait a second. I'm sure the. Wait, what happened here? Here we go. Wait. I'm sure the young lady who won was beautiful, but come on.
Oh, Lenore, that's
I-
You
I-
are
you know-
so beautiful, Lenore.
Dare I say in front of your husband that's traffic stopping beauty? Come on.
Yes.
Well, when she looked at what she won, but she didn't win the number one. And I said to myself, "What the hell are these people? Stevie Wonder?"
Oh, how sweet.
Okay.
Well, she won by meeting you, Al. That's how she won. I'm sure she's happy.
Yeah, I won by meeting her. It worked out.
Yes.
In fact, tomorrow is our, not tomorrow, 2 days from now is our 15th anniversary in wedding
15?
anniversary.
I'm so
years.
happy that we're
Yeah.
with you during such a nice milestone.
Yeah, it was
Congratulations.
terrific.
Lenny, you remember that, right?
It was the best. That was the best.
It was-
What a
Oh,
great wedding.
Dare I
Yeah.
ask how you guys met?
This way, through
Singing.
Rotary.
Yeah,
So
she was in my chorus.
So when Al started one of his many music endeavor projects, he had a Rotary chorus of over 65 members, and I joined because my mom was in.
Mm.
And I had moved back from Florida and needed something to do, so I used to go and sing with the chorus, and years passed and we wound up getting together.
Oh, that's
Right.
so beautiful and
Yeah,
sweet.
great.
yeah.
Common
great.
interest, right? It's awesome.
And Lenny played the wedding. We had about 10 musicians that night. A
So,
lot of
it
members
was the
of my
best
band.
night. So
Just
many
like the old days.
musicians.
Oh, my
Just like the old
God.
days, right?
Everybody sat in and it was phenomenal. We had it was really a party,
Uh-huh.
an absolute party with musicians just enjoying themselves. And,
Yeah.
That was the first non-stop live music wedding I think we've ever been to.
You know what, Lenore, you brought up
Everything.
live music, and we talk about how underappreciated it is nowadays. How
Yes.
just the experience of seeing live musicians on a stage playing an instrument at a level that is just amazing. How it's just
Right.
overlooked so much. What can
Right.
you do with technology? It just takes over, but. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm sure hopefully one day it'll be appreciated again, and wedding bands and just gigging around at I think club dates. Club dates is the
Club
term,
dates.
you guys. I'm getting there. I'm
There
getting
you
there.
go.
You're getting there, Chris.
Yeah.
We're learning.
Lenny had a great experience. Lenny, tell him about the little kid that came up to you and said, "Do you have?"
Oh,
Remember?
they still every day. Not even a kid. I think every single gig I have, I do. So I work 4 nights, 5 nights a week, right? Anyone who asks me to play something, they don't say, "Can you play something?" So strangers in the night, can you play any Billy Joel? Can you play Elton John? They say, "Do you have Elton John? Do you have Billy Joel? Do you have Frank Sinatra?" They never say, "Can you play?" Ever.
Because they don't know.
Really?
They've never heard live musicians.
No, they heard.
They think you have it.
These are older people now that say, "Do you have?" Because
Right.
of DJs have them. Do you have it? Let me look. Yeah, I got it in the computer. I have it.
Right.
And when they ask me, "Do you have any, I don't know, Bonnie Raitt?"
Right.
I say, "Yeah, in my head, I have it. Do you want me to play it?" I get angry. But they say I said that. You have it.
That, yeah.
But that goes to anybody who even
So
watches
true.
this. Be
I
very
can see you
careful.
doing that.
Don't say, "Do you have?" It's stupid, ignorant. Do I have it?
It is.
Your
And
faces are
it
the
really
best. Lynn.
infuriates me, but
I'm
it's
sorry.
that bad. And I'm not telling you, if someone says, "Can you play?" it's minority. And I'm telling you, maybe 5-10% of the people say, "Can you play?"
Can you?
It's
Yeah,
the opposite now.
Very
No
good.
one says,
Very
"Can you
good.
play?"
They don't get it.
It just they don't get it.
And they look and they watch me like I'm not playing.
Yeah.
And one day, a lady, I was at this place here in Belmore in Long Island, and I'm playing, and she says, "Oh, my son does what you do." I said, "Oh, he's a piano player?" She says, "Yeah, he does this keyboard." She goes, "He has all the programs." Oh, I said, "It's great." And she says, "I know what you're doing because my son does that." I said, "Oh, that's great." And she says, "Where is your, like in here, like, where is the music?" I said, "No, it's in here. It's not." She goes, "No, the music that's coming out of the keyboard." I said, "I'm playing it."
Yeah.
She said, "No, I know you're not playing it because my son does this."
Oh my God.
He don't play.
And
Oh,
I
my
took my
goodness.
hands up and you said, "What do you hear?" Nothing. I put back. "What do you hear?" Like I was furious, and she would
Oh,
not believe me that I wasn't
She didn't
playing.
believe
She
you.
didn't believe
That's
Amazing.
unbelievable.
You need to get a
The
badge
what's
that
ignorance.
says Lynn Portis.
Lies.
Genius.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's anybody who plays piano, but
Maria,
it's not an
Jessica,
acoustic piano.
don't do that.
So because it's not an acoustic piano, they think that in the machine is
is
everything,
the music.
and
Right.
it's really sad.
But
It's really
Lynn,
sad.
you are a genius. And if it
Okay,
was just
Silva.
one person
You are.
saying it would be like normal. But like when I walk around in this world of, let's say, Tony and Tina's people that know you and have known you through the years, and everyone's like, Lynn Portis is a genius. You know.
My husband
True.
is sitting there saying, "What?"
Well, that's the
everyone-
label. You got
Genius,
labeled with
John.
that, and
You
thank
won.
God, thank
You
God
won
it's
the
appropriate.
election. You won the election. There's no votes to be counted.
You know, Chris,
You won by a landslide.
Yes, Mr. Lambert.
that's right. I just want to mention, and actually to Silvana too, lots of times people think they're listening to live music, and part of it may be,
Yeah.
but the band is playing to pre-recorded tracks,
That's
and
what I
they're
was.
playing on top of it.
Right.
And I go to these events, and they go, what did you think of the band? And I go, well, those that were playing, what do you mean? I said, well, there's a track on there. That's not them.
They go,
Oh, no, listen to me. That's not them. That's a pre-recorded track. They're playing, and the sax player's playing a little, the guitar player's playing a little, but what you're hearing is the driving beat and all, that's all pre-recorded. And a lot of the people don't know that, and they're paying for live music, and they're really only getting 40% live, you know?
Hmm.
So that's another problem that I feel bad for, for live music.
Yeah.
Is that they just keep, ruining it and watering it down, pretty sad.
Yeah,
State
you know
of
what?
affairs.
Even it's probably hard for DJs at this point to even get work because people could do it on their own and just make their own playlist,
That-
play it,
they
and
do that.
and
That's
now they're
true.
getting elbowed. But
Oh,
Well, they're
too bad.
getting, and you're right, and I've heard them complain about that.
uh-huh.
I've
Well,
actually heard them complain about it, and I don't say to myself, well, now it's your turn, but I do say, look, they're going to experience what we experience because
Yeah.
technology is going to eat them alive too.
Yeah.
How I guess.
Al, can you tell Chris about the union? How, like, when you started, how many people were supposed to be on the bandstand?
Well, like if you had 150 people in a particular room, maybe you needed 4 people. If that same room could hit 300, then you needed 8 people. And the union delegate would come on the jobs. You'd spend this whole Saturday night going into different places, and you'd be fined if you didn't have the right amount of musicians for the room and the right amount of musicians for the amount of people.
Wow.
And that's when the Huntington Townhouse in 1974 decided that they were going to fight it. They won about 3 or 4 years later. There was no social media. When they won, they sent out 10,000 letters to every catering hall within 100 miles of Times Square, telling them that you no longer had to hire union musicians. That's how they got the word out. And it became the Huntington Townhouse decision, was the name of the law. So it took 10 years before it really settled in. Because years ago, if you played records at a wedding, you were called a cheap bastard. They would say, well, that cheap bastard playing records. Today, if you don't play records at a wedding, they say, oh, the wedding wasn't hip enough.
You can't win.
Yeah, you can't win.
They should have
No.
just stayed with the
Well, of
live
course,
music. They can't go wrong with it.
Really. And then one other thing I want to mention is that today, an average priced band doesn't work, but a band at 15,000 works. And the DJ, so you got to charge 15 grand today, hire 10 people who really can't play on top of tracks, and you'll get work. Could you believe that? If people want to spend 100 grand for their wedding, they want to brag that they paid 18,000. Band.
Yeah.
The average band, 3,000 to 5,000, can't get work.
That's
astounding.
amazing.
Stupid.
Yeah, it really is.
It is, but how do you get the word out? Maybe if people knew that it's,
That's how you do it. That's how Al
affordable,
always has done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right now, it's a losing battle. I just
Yeah.
I always found my niche, always reinvented myself, and went for the niche that I knew was there for me. I kind of
Mhm.
worked into what was going on, but you can't change the world. These
Mhm.
kids today, they're not raised with real live music. They're raised with this garbage. Half of it
Mhm.
is garbage, the other half is not so bad. I like some of the new stuff myself. No, it's true. Some of the right, some of it is good,
Yes,
and
there are
but
some
half of it
really
is
good.
really garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's some good
no question.
singer-songwriters out there that.
It's the same
Yep.
thing as live theater. I have a family that
See,
we love live theater, and I have nephews and nieces that are
yeah,
also into it, and we appreciate the art and think it's so important to this world, and we're afraid that it's a dying art as well. Um, so
yeah, that's sad.
because
Yeah,
everything
Very
is
sad.
kind of like zoomed in and computered in and
yeah,
virtual realities, and
Yeah,
we and Chris and
right.
I as well, and Lynn and you guys, I'm sure, are all in the mood to keep it alive. So as
yes.
long as we're
Yes, we are.
alive, we have to try,
You're
right?
right. You're right. Exactly.
Is she fantastic?
Exactly.
Look at her.
Okay, this is what I wrote on a piece of paper. Do you see this?
Yeah,
Right.
almost.
I gotta put my glasses on. Wait a minute.
How do you keep the music playing?
How do
That,
you
Ah,
that was
Well,
that was what I wanted to say. That's what I think this would be called.
Oh,
This
How
is
do we keep it
beautiful.
playing?
it's
Right,
very
Lenore?
You
I
answered
know.
my question.
spooky.
You
that's
didn't
that's
right.
right.
to my prayers.
And that's what we have to keep doing. And in this world of AI, which I don't
Wow.
want to get into talking because I did go to a crazy meeting at ASCAP and I walked out of there in tears and Paul Williams was walking out.
Ah,
Well, Paul Williams, short Paul Williams. And
Right, right.
I held the door open. He was behind me and he was, he's a president, ASCAP or whatever. And he said, don't worry, everything changes. And I was like, it's over. Like, they're writing this music. It's over for us. What's going to happen?
Yeah. What a
It's
shame.
so bad. You cannot tell me that a human being wrote this song. How do I know if it's a human who wrote it or a computer or AI okay? So the whole thing was
Right.
about it's really really scary. I'm not going to talk about it first of all because it gets me sick to my stomach. But I'm really not going to talk about it
Right.
because I don't know enough. But I can tell you I was really really sad. I left there crying and I got on the train and I came home and all I thought of was Al Lambert.
Mm.
Al Lambert. Because Al has said it. This is live. You see her? She's playing a piano. It's live. It's not it's real person. Live music is all we have. Live theater,
Yeah.
right? We're talking about it. You can't lose it, guys. Whoever's listening,
yeah.
you
We
cannot
gotta
lose
keep
it.
it going. We gotta
We
keep
have
it
to
going.
keep the music playing.
We
That's the name
do,
of
Lynn.
it. Chris, you asked me what the title would be. How
And
do you
now
keep the music
I
playing?
have to shout out the next generation, my nephew Gerardo Mastrolia, who is trying to keep that music and
Yes,
that
he is.
theater alive. He tries every
Yeah.
play and vaudeville show. He makes his own shows actually.
Yeah.
So yes. Let's keep it alive.
Well, for
Live
about three-
music, live theater, live shows, original shows. Our friend Susie,
Mm.
Maria, a shout out to everybody.
Yeah, you
that's,
have to.
Keeping live
Yeah.
shows in theater and music alive. My cousin Biagio. He's keeping our Italian heritage alive.
Yes.
Biagio Benevenga. Shout out
Appeared
to
at the San Gennaro feast. Still going on
Yes.
right now, guys. Go down
Yes.
to Little Italy and support
Yeah.
that.
I saw
Al,
that.
talk a
Joe
little
Cross is
about.
all over Facebook.
I want to know about present day Al Lambert right now. Tell us what's going on now. Fill us in. Come
the
on.
next
Well,
gig. Tell Hill
come on.
the
Well,
people
I'll
to
tell you
your
what's
gig.
going on.
Dig deep.
I right now, talking about age, I'm in my 70s. I'll be very blunt. And there are a lot of people who have already left the business 20 years ago. I'm 20 years past my shelf life. But what I have decided to do is to stay in the business. And I got a call for a big gig in January I'm working on, and then a smaller gig in January. But every 30 days now, I'm producing my own shows, my music shows, where people come to hear me. I have about 12,000 people on social media and email. And I promote every show ad nauseum. And I put about 100 people in these restaurants about every 30 days. In Staten Island, New Jersey. I do some Florida because we have a place in Florida. And occasionally I'll work in Manhattan with a jazz group, Janice Friedman, keyboard player. We've been playing together too for a long time. So I move around, but every 30 days I can move people into a show. And I have a ball doing it. Lenore sings with me. Lynn is on some of the shows. I try to keep Lynn local because I do them in Red Bank sometimes.
Smart.
And poor Lynn's got to go all the way from Long Island to Red Bank. It's like 4 hours, you know. So, but bottom line is, that's what I do. Now I'm also reigniting a chorus. I'm starting again. I'm doing a big show. Have you heard of the Tunnel to Towers Scylla Foundation?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, well, my two cousins work there. One is the second in charge, my cousin Gina, and the other one is was the 5th employee hired, and now there's 200. My cousin Jack, and he is producing and I'm directing a show for Scylla Foundation in April, a 3-night show, and we're putting together casts, and I'm starting another chorus, and I'm working hard on that, and we're going to do a show for veterans, not just for Scylla Foundation. For the veterans of Staten Island, okay, through the Scylla Foundation. So I'm working on that show and getting the chorus going besides my 30-day show. On gigs. But I do a lot of national anthems and different. Yesterday morning, I was 9 o'clock in the morning on the water here on Staten Island singing for service dogs.
Come on.
People who help service dogs. And then a couple of days ago, I'm doing a national anthem somewhere else. Or
Al, you gotta sing one song for us.
Yes.
Al, sing God Bless America. A little God Bless America. Come on, Al.
A little God Bless America.
Al, what's your
Wait a
rate?
minute, how about...
Hey, Al, wait. What's your rate? Is it still $10 a song?
It's $20 now. I'm big time.
Go, Al, sing something.
How about... oh...
What happened?
I can't hear you. Wait. We don't hear you.
Ow.
We lost you. Shit.
Okay.
Start again from the top and hit it.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Wow.
Oh, Al, gonna make me cry.
Bravo.
It's just
Well, I
awesome.
have a story for that.
Holy
Thank you. I have
cow.
a
In
story
his
for
car, after talking for an hour.
All right, let's hear the story.
Story, please.
I just put it up on Facebook, and Lynn, I think you were on this gig, and I'm not sure what I think you are.
What
About a
gig?
week or so after 9/11, if you remember.
Yeah, we were on a boat. On a boat?
Yes. And they wouldn't cancel the gig. And I called Lynn and the band. I said, look, they're not going to cancel it. We wanted to cancel it. We couldn't cancel it. They had to cancel it. So we did the gig. And we were all dressed in tuxes and everybody on the boat in tuxedos. And what the hell do you play a few days after 9/11?
It was still smoke, everything.
Nobody was really dancing. So we went around Manhattan Island and we're coming down the river toward the World Trade Center. And I'm looking at the lights in the smoke. And I turned to the band. And I quietly picked up the microphone without even looking at the people. And I started singing America the Beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Nice. And Lynn was playing it beautifully in the background. Yes, you were on that gig. And all of a sudden, about the second line in, I turn around and the entire boat was standing up, singing it with me and crying.
Yeah, it was emotional.
It was the most poignant moment. And I remember we sang it twice. And the people were just, and the boat is passing the World Trade Center site.
Oh my God!
Wow.
I always wish that there were cameras for that moment.
Oh my God!
Couldn't ever imagine the poignancy and the emotion that everybody in the boat felt. And I know that singing that song was the right thing to do. And I think that was God inspired, because I don't know what the hell made me do it.
Powerful.
It was a great
powerful
moment.
Man.
Yeah, it really was a powerful
Not
moment.
expecting it.
Not expecting
you
it.
know, just happened out in the blue, and next thing you hear, some guy belting out in front of the Statue of Liberty.
It was amazing.
We all share that.
We started to.
The musicians have share like you. The show must go on, right, Silvana and Chris?
Right.
Exactly.
Anything could happen in your life, but you got to go do a show now and be happy. And we're entertaining. You're constantly on. You know, it may be easier for me because I don't have to always be up front. You know, but it's not easy for actors or for front people like Al. Al couldn't have a bad day. You know, we could be having anything going on. Al couldn't. He had to be up front. Front. It's hard being up front.
But I feel like we get assistance.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I feel like we get assistance from the heavens.
You do.
That come through us. And we are merely instruments of God playing a song and a story. That's all I got.
Well, the day of my father's funeral, we had a gig that night, Lynn. I don't know if you remember.
God.
And it was 400 people at the Shalimar for the Staten Island Zoo. In fact, it was more than 400. And I had to do that gig.
Oh.
And we set up, we got there, and I did what I had to do. And I think it was like halfway through the gig, one of the people that was running the event made an announcement and said, you know, nice hand for Al Lambert, et cetera, et cetera. Sadly, his dad passed away today, and he came on the gig. There are a lot of people that if they stub their toe, they don't go to work. Mm-hmm. And that work ethic is lost. Anyway, the funny thing was we did the gig, and a year later, they didn't hire me. They didn't say, what this guy did, he should get this gig for the next 10 years. They said, F him, we're going with another band.
Unbelievable.
That's
just when you think you got life figured out, you know, that's something like that happens.
Just when you say, you did the right thing. I did the right thing because I didn't want to have a problem. And meanwhile, I did the right thing and I never got the gig again.
Oh my God! You can't figure people out, man.
You can't figure people out.
Exactly. And then what happened after that?
There's another gig. Again. Then we left the gig and we went to the diner.
What diner?
A diner, the Colonnade.
Yes. Is that in Staten Island?
Well, what happens is when the gig is over, you always go to the diner.
Yeah.
So no matter where you were, there's always diners everywhere, Staten Island. Sure. But other bands come in too, because their gig is up.
Right.
But the Shalimar had a lot of bands. When you go to a band, before they separated the rooms, years ago, they didn't have those partitions. You just played in the big room or the small room. Now they build these partitions and you're here and there's a band right behind you against the other wall facing opposite. Mm-hmm. So you hear the band, boom, boom, and you're playing a bossa nova and they're playing some dance number. It's horrible. And
that really is horrible.
This is really kind of like terror on the park. But that was what's happened to bands. I mean, these are wedding halls, not bands. Wedding halls.
Lynn, we should mention the Staten, which has been around for over 55 years. That place, it's on the other side of Staten Island, like Chris, and it's a catering hall for about almost 60 years. They are the busiest catering hall on Staten Island. They're even busy on Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights and Thursday nights when everybody else is asleep.
I love the
That's how
Staten.
busy they are.
They're great people. Legrecci.
Yeah, great people. Legressi, Staten. The place is just amazing. Always busy, great food. Everybody goes there, and they do the right thing for everybody. So Lynn and I, in the heyday, we did about 15 gigs a month in that place.
Wow.
Always there.
Yeah.
And they used to feed us.
Always there.
And they always fed you.
Always. Whether the people paid for it or not.
Yeah.
Most of the catering halls on Staten Island, they love the bands, and they would feed you whether the people paid for it or not. When we got off Staten Island, it was a different game.
Gotta
Right.
order
Staten
pizza.
Island people, everybody loved everybody. That's how it was,
Oh God.
It's very different.
It's very different. Is right. And what are you gonna do? You just got to roll with it, I guess. And you
Right.
know.
No, but we have to keep it alive. We have to keep love.
Yes, keep
Keep
the
it
music
playing.
playing.
And that vibe that you are both talking about, that we're all talking about, we have to keep that vibe alive.
Keep the vibe alive.
Right?
Hi, Leo. Hi, Leo.
I just want to show a couple of comments that were made that I missed because we're just having a great conversation. A great Leo
Lynn,
Rodriguez
I have
just
to
loving
ask-
the show.
Oh,
Uh,
hey, Leo.
Saying hello to Joe in the background, getting a lot of
Joe in
camera
the background. Joe's getting a lot of
Again.
hits. Joe, everybody's
I
been watching you. Because you're on the camera. Hi, guys.
I have to ask you this question. The gig is up. You said that. Lynn,
Yeah.
did you write a song about that?
The gig is up.
Yeah.
No, I can write that for you.
I wrote this as a
Good
note.
idea.
I did it up.
You said it, and I was like,
Yeah, it's just a very
you
sad.
said it so profoundly, and I said, did you write a song about it? In my head. And if you did, I want to hear it.
I can say one thing. I'm eating a lozenge because I didn't want to cough. I was
just ripping you on social media for having a lodge during my show. Just delete all of them. Don't worry about
I
it.
wish I had one now.
When I tell people say, so you go to college, you study music, and you want to play jazz, and you graduate college, and you start playing jazz clubs, and then you're gonna club date because you got to make money. Club dating, playing a wedding or bar mitzvah paid more than paying a restaurant. Playing in a restaurant, you might have got $100, $150, which is still what you get paid, by the way. The increase for a piano player, I got $150 to play in a restaurant in Staten Island when I made 20, and I'll get $150 today. Same price.
Right.
But when I played a wedding, it was $350, $300, $250, $300. That, having kids and a family, you do that. When I got the show, when I got Tony and Tina, it was different. It was all different. I knew that would be perfect for me because it's a show about doing a club date, and that was my life.
That's boy, did you nail it?
That's right.
That is
So that's
amazing,
why I
yeah.
knew. And then everybody's like, well, how do you know? And Al, not reading the notes and all that. That's club dating. The best, and
Right.
Bobby Kent, if we can ever get Bobby Kent on this, if we had Bobby Kent here right now, he would say the same thing.
Would absolutely.
Tony Ventura, who got me the
We're gonna
gig,
work on that.
the best club date, the best musicians I've known are club daters because they could do anything.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, Al could start
Right.
out this nice and easy, nice and easy does it, or whatever. Then he goes, you know what?
Don't stop.
So-
He sees some older people there, and he'd see a German lady and tell me to play a waltz. He'd see an Italian person tell Le Vigino Male. He knows what to play.
Love that.
Then
Uh-oh.
you see some kids, the Mexican kids who are maybe working. What do you like? They like anything, not just Spanish. Like Stand By Me, because they love Stand By Me. Or you see You know the person. You know the music they like. I know it sounds
Feel
silly.
their
Work the room.
vibe.
You work the room,
Right.
and if I told you I could have played Pavarotti, we could do an opera a piece, or we can do a dance number. We could do something from any decade. Al could say, "What decade?" Right? You say that all the time. Any decade,
That's all the time.
all
I
the
tell
way
them
to
I
now.
want the radio station.
But that's a club dater. So you're on a Broadway show and you play the same score night after night, the same music. I would lose my mind.
Right.
It's very, very hard. And you get really good at that same score, but on a club date, you have no idea what's going to happen.
So, speaking
Yeah.
of, you have no idea what's going to happen. Could we get a little song and music? Do you guys have anything?
Al, come on. What are you
Because
doing?
I am.
Well, we're
We
streaming.
don't have
I'm
anything.
so ready to explode. I don't know what to do with myself.
Well,
I-
And I want to move around
What do
in
you
my
want?
chair.
Al, but we can't sing like we don't hear it
Yeah.
doesn't work
Yeah.
live. Because I could play,
yeah,
but
right. Don't worry.
he won't hear it. Al,
He
you'll have
won't-
to go
yeah.
a
I
cappella.
gotta. All right. Before I do, I just want to remind you, Lynn and Chris and Silvana, you may want to hear this. We did the I Love New York Festival on the beach in South Beach on Staten Island. There was 30,000 people there. And Lynn, I'm not sure if you
Wow.
remember that night. And they had these speakers the size of your front door, about 20 of them all along the boardwalk, so that all the people along the boardwalk could hear. And my job was to play rock and roll for 2 hours.
Wow.
And we had Frank Agnello was in the band.
Yeah.
We brought that great sax player from ASCAP. We had Don Hahn. The band was loaded. That Billy Rayola, and it was me. I had Laura. We kept playing from song to song for 2 straight hours.
Yeah.
And every song was rock. And then all of a sudden, my signal to start playing the patriotic music, because it was 4th of July,
Yeah.
the signal was they blinked the Verrazano Bridge.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was my that was my signal to start doing, rock and roll versions of America the Beautiful, My Country. We did a disco for 20 minutes of every patriotic song ever written.
How could that happen with a DJ? That's only live music. Something
Right.
like that can happen, man.
Exactly.
The
Could never.
spontaneity of, just the
You never
organicness
could
of
have-
that happening for real.
And,
How could
and they were screaming. The people were screaming. They were jumping. It was an amazing night.
yeah.
30,000. It took me 2 days to get over the energy from that
Yeah.
amount of people that you're
Wow.
performing for. You remember
Yeah.
that now?
Wow.
Wow.
30,000
that
people.
sax
Yeah.
player.
That's
It was
Madison Square
astounding.
Garden.
Astounding. It's Madison Square Garden stuff.
Yeah.
And these are the type of opportunities that you wind up getting. And sometimes you don't even expect it. The phone rings, and you
Right.
get these tremendous opportunities.
Well, I'm
Just-
just
I
thinking of another thing with the DJ that you said, Chris. What about when you're at a wedding and it's Aunt Tilly's birthday and the DJ says, "Okay, everybody."
Yeah.
There's no music. The whole place a cappella.
I know, it's so terrible.
Because there's or they take a recording. Happy birthday
Yeah.
to you. It's horrible
Yeah, right.
because it's happy
It
birthday.
is.
But if I had a little piano and played it, that blows my mind. Al Lambert,
Yep, that's
Al,
good.
He's-
one thing I just want to say, I'm sure your family is very proud of this. Lynn was telling me about this earlier. You have your cousin. There's a street named in Staten
Oh,
Island.
Father Capodanno. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Lynn, for telling us.
That
Yeah.
must be just
Oh.
amazing.
Well, Father Capodanno was a Marine chaplain who sadly got killed in Vietnam while he was
Oh.
giving last rites to the soldiers.
Good.
So
God.
And his story, there are 3 movies about him, Chris, and I was a partial narrator in the last 2 movies about his life. I was privileged for that to happen. But he's on the rung for sainthood, servant of God right now.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, the prayer is that Father Capodanno does at some point become a saint, and it's a very lengthy process. And sadly, the Catholic Church is very political, and there's a lot of money involved. But
Yeah.
Father Vincent, he'd be the guy to have saint attached to his name. If you ever saw the movie or Googled his story, by the end of the time, the 3-minute story, you'll be crying. That's the bottom line.
I'm
What
gonna
he
watch
did.
it.
Yeah, I'm
I
very
am as well.
obviously
I'm
proud.
already.
Father
in tears.
Vincent Capodanno. Just Google
I
him.
mean, you can imagine even
God
being
bless.
considered to be a saint
Hi.
is just sick.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And in your
Yeah,
family.
absolutely true.
What?
I
Al
know.
Lambert. Everybody's
Yeah.
related to Al.
Yeah.
Every time I meet somebody, he goes,
Sure.
"That's my cousin."
Al,
Yeah,
there's
my
so much I
grandfather
wanted to
was a
talk
pretty
to
busy man.
I mean, we'd even touch upon just your talk show in Staten Island and who you must have interviewed. I don't know how much time you got. If you want to talk about that a
We got
little,
about-
or we could save it for another
Yeah,
show.
I'll give you 5 minutes, but I'll just give you 2 minutes in the show.
Okay.
I've had Linda's been on the show several times. I've had jazz musicians. I told you I brought the televisions, what you call cameras over to Gumbajani. I interviewed him right in where he was doing his radio show. And then recently I had Randy Edelman on the show. And Randy Edelman, he wrote Weekend in New England for Barry Manilow. But he also wrote another 100 movies that he did the score. He did the score for My Cousin Vinny. He did the score for The Last of the Mohegans. He did the score for, I can't tell you how many movies. And he came to
Those
the
are
to
amazing
the,
pieces of
studio.
work.
Yes, and this guy, if you do go on YouTube and look the Al Lambert CTV show, look for Randy Edelman. It was a tremendous interview with Randy because he didn't realize he thought the studio was going to be a little bigger, and for a short time he was disappointed until we bonded there with about 10 or 15 minutes, and we had the best time. And then he invited Lenore and I up to New York where he was doing his show at a hotel. And we went up to see him do his personal show, which was absolutely great. And we became friends. And Clive Davis brought that song to Barry Manilow because Randy had a big hit in the 70s, his own hit. And it was on his album. And Clive Davis heard it and said, this would be great for Barry. And he asked Randy to change one line. And Randy said, when Clive Davis says change a line for Barry Manilow, you change the line Barry Manilow.
Right.
And that's what he did. And the song, as you know, is so beautiful. Lenny, you know last night.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it.
Love Barry.
But,
Okay, let's
play
hear
it,
a
play
little
it.
of it.
but I have to move this way.
Let's move it a little this
Oh.
way.
I don't know if you can hear it. Let me
Wow,
know.
peek inside the.
Try it. Let's see.
Wow. I'm so honored. Whoa.
Yes.
You hear that?
Yes, yes.
Live.
Yes.
Will
Ladies and
I
gentlemen.
see? When can I touch you? That. When will this strong yearning end? And when will I hold you again? Yeah, that one. Let's see my big
What?
head.
Yeah, what
Wow.
Can you
Wait,
hear-
you're not done, are
He
you?
played it on the show.
Yeah.
He played it on the show and he sang it.
Wow.
And he sang the line that he changed, and then he sang the new line on the show.
Ah,
Just yeah,
I
what
love that song.
an amazing songwriter Barry Manilow. You know, just his
Wow.
lyrics and the music just
Oh,
go
my
together
God.
so well. You know.
Oh, absolutely. And he puts a modulation in every song. He's the modulation.
I know.
Those are the
Looks like we
modulations.
made it.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, we have to go, Chris, if that's
Yes.
okay.
Yes, absolutely.
I love you, Lenore.
Wait, where's Lenore? I want to see.
Thank you, Lenore, so
Lenore!
much. Oh.
Beautiful.
Is she
My
beautiful?
friend.
Thank
I
you.
can't wait to
I gotta
meet
give him.
you.
I have to give him his airtime. So I'm sorry.
Yes.
Guys,
I
you
want
can
to have
find.
you guys on the show, Chris.
Yes, we'll plan
let
it
you know
out.
that.
Definitely. We'll talk about it. We'll definitely
Yes.
come out there.
There you
Learn
are, Al.
all about
Thank
Al
you so
Lambert.
much for joining us, Lenore. If you could post about or give us the information so we could post about your shows that you do, and
Oh,
the
sure.
work that
Yes,
you do.
absolutely.
And I'd
Okay.
love to like participate because it sounds right up my alley.
Well, you got to wait. You got to friend Lenore too on Facebook,
Yes.
Chris. You
I'm
and
Okay.
on
Savannah.
Facebook.
I
Yes.
would love to.
Friend her on
I would
Facebook.
love to.
We
All
will.
right.
Guys,
We
check
will.
out
We're all staying in
Al
communication.
on his
Absolutely.
Facebook page. You could learn all about him, and it probably link up to all of that. A great picture with him and Rodney Dangerfield, and a great picture of him and his beautiful wife Lenore. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
guys,
so
for sitting in your
much.
car for almost
And
2 hours.
joining us.
Amazing.
I love you guys.
Listen,
Thank you so much,
we
Al.
love everything
Appreciate-
about the
It's
show
been a
business.
wonderful
Great to
night
meet you.
for us.
Great.
Yes, great to meet you too,
Great to meet
guys.
Great to meet you. Can't
Okay.
wait to see you in person. I'm very
Yes, me
huggy,
too.
touchy, feely, and loving.
Goodbye. Lynn, hang out for a
Lily,
second.
I
I'm
love
gonna
you.
hang
Take
out.
care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye,
I'll
Al.
see you.
See you soon.
Bye, Lenore.
Wow.
I told you.
Wow.
It could be like another 5 hours.
I could have kept going. I felt bad for him.
No, but he was in the car. Al, you're
I
in the
know,
car.
and then Lenore too.
I-
Just so good.
I
Thank
was
you,
so
Lynn.
young when I met him,
Uh-huh.
and but to really understand, like that's really him. He's that kind. He's that
Magic.
beautiful. He's a beautiful person. He
Yeah.
really is. And Lenore, you believe her? She looks great.
Absolutely.
It was great.
Absolutely. I felt like I was under a spell. I don't know what happened. What time is it? Where am I?
Yeah.
It's
How long have I
almost
been
10
here?
o'clock now. The great Jerry Mastrolia is checking in, saying hello.
Yeah,
We all
and
love
that's
Jerry
how.
very much.
And
We were
that's
just talking about you.
that's the old-fashioned communication.
Mhm.
Like he listens and he speaks, but we all like the time flew. How did that time go by?
Oh, it
I
was
feel like-
amazing. It was nonstop.
Right? Like you always knew him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's it's the kind of person that you meet. And you like you said, you felt like you know him for
Yeah.
years already. It's
And-
amazing
and-
how some
and
people connect like that.
Super cool. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's not
what
an
a
easy.
vibe.
And did he tell you that he's a car salesman?
I wanted to talk about that at the
We didn't
end,
even
but
get to
oh,
that.
the
No,
great
but I mean-
Jeff Spinner is saying hello, all the way from California. Hello, Jeff. This guy is on the slopes with his son. He's gonna win Father of the Year one day.
Oh,
He just
good
loves
dad.
being a dad. Spends so much time with his great son. And his son is a Weisenheimer also. Yes, his son was on our show when we were in West New York. He came on. We called and we talked to him. I don't know if you remember that. He was a wise guy.
Oh,
nice guy.
Yeah, wise guy.
pull it again.
So yeah, Lynn, I think we should definitely. Yes, cool, Jeff. It's fun watching you, man. Jeff is. We have a mutual friend, Michael, the great Michael Perry. That's we all know Michael
our
Perry.
friend
Yes.
Michael.
Yeah,
Cool.
Jeff grew up
Love
with
you, Michael.
Michael in
Right.
Brooklyn, and they did a pilot called Brothers of Invention, where they went around and like interviewed inventors and stuff, and they were great inventors themselves, always getting into trouble being young and stuff. But Lynn, I am so happy that you brought Al to us and Lenore. What a great idea to talk about live music and everything. And yeah, I think we should definitely keep this ball rolling with him and start working on something.
Live
You know,
from New Jersey.
He is
Live.
just, he probably knows all of the history of Staten Island
Yeah.
and what happened in all of these clubs and restaurants and doing a documentary. I know there's some stuff done already, but might not do another.
And also, Lynn, thank you so very much for writing our theme song.
No,
And
it's
not
not
only
really a theme song. It's just a drop. He wanted like something
I
that
Yeah, I
want it to be my theme song. I love it.
it doesn't. It doesn't beat.
And also, he threatened me with some musical accompaniment to the Gavon's produce scenes, which I have not seen the scenes. with
Okay.
the
Well, I
score
wrote
yet.
the first one. and then I wrote the second one.
Hmm.
But the first one was tied to you. That it was all about you. The
Yes.
second one was about the special guests.
Yes,
Female.
Anna. What is her
So-
character name? Did we come up with a character name for her?
Anna.
Anna's her real name, the beautiful Anna
Zuno.
Zuno.
So,
Follow her on Facebook.
Anna Paula.
Yes, Anna Paula.
okay.
Z8.
So, Lynn, we kept you for another hour and a half also. I
I
would love
love
to do. We should do a show soon together, but
Yeah.
I would-
I love you very much. I miss
Yeah.
you, and I'm glad I got to hang with you.
yeah, how
Oh,
much
I
fun was
am
that, man?
so honored that I got
was
to
great.
hang out with you. Congratulations on everything you do. Your projects
Aw.
with Susie. Where could we find you in a live show that we could come to?
Live,
around here.
every night. I play. I play out here along. I'm on Long Island.
Long Island.
Yes, where, Lynn?
Let's
I
go
want to
to
crash it. I want to crash
Me
it sometime.
too. We want to
All right,
crash it.
Wednesday nights
Wednesday night.
at Villa D'Aqua Restaurant. Thursday nights at Toto's Steakhouse in Wantagh. Friday nights at Guy Anthony Bar Restaurant in Merritt.
I want to interview you. I want to hear what happens at these places, boy.
Saturday night in Westbury at the Galleria on Post Avenue, Westbury, Long Island. I'm working too much.
You think you work?
Oh, wow.
Oh, this
I say
music.
we go on a week spree.
Waka, waka, waka.
How you gonna stop it, man? Lynn, can't stop, won't stop, as Miami Mike would say. The great Miami Mike.
God bless
I
you.
love you.
I love you so much,
All
Lynn. I'll
right,
talk to you
you
soon.
guys
love you
finish
so
the show. I'll talk to you soon,
Love
Chris.
so
Love you,
much.
Savannah.
I love
Yes.
you so much. The world is a better place because of people like you. I love
Yeah,
you so much.
absolutely.
Thank you
This
so
music
much.
is very cool.
I know. I love you bopping to it. All right, Lenny. Best to everybody. Bye, Joe. Oh, I cut her off. I'm sorry. Holy cow. Another epic show. I mean,
I am out of breath.
yes.
That was amazing.
I don't
Thank
know.
you so much
It's
for
just
joining us.
Very entertaining.
I
At least
feel
for
lit
me.
up.
Thank you,
Wow,
everybody, for
Lambert.
watching.
Wow. Lynn Portis. Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for
To our
everybody who
friends.
watched. Rob Meyer.
that are
Thank you.
watching, to our families, and anybody out
Leo Rodriguez just checking in. Mary, great friend of mine from Brooklyn. I'm sure she enjoyed all the Staten Island stories. She's a historian of Brooklyn and Staten Island herself, I'm sure. Grew up there, and you know this part of the country has some history. Not only with revolutionary and all. Anyway, Auntie Mame, yes, the great Jerry Mastrolia and Jeff
Hey,
Spinner.
honey.
Thank you
I
so
love
much for
you.
checking
I
us
love
out.
you. Thank
Yes.
you so much. So,
Coming up next
yeah.
week.
coming up next week.
Yes,
We're
we'll talk
excited
about
to
it.
be
We're gonna
back.
try and have
Excited.
Piramada. We're going to try and get them on next week. It would be great. My friend Peter and Paul Polio, they have a band here in Jersey, and we'll talk about all of that and that too. So
And be ready. We're gonna do some live pop-ups with our friends. We're gonna do some live from a book signing.
yeah, look for us on the road, guys.
And live from one of Lynn's music places where she's playing. we're just gonna pop in on our friends.
Guys, who's there? Check in.
So cool.
Where are you? We'll go for 2 more minutes. Anybody want to come on the show?
Al Lambert.
We have about 6 people here.
Can't wait. To
Now I'm gonna put
party
the
with
link.
You and Lenore.
If you got a pair and you want to say hello, hit that link that's in if you see it, and say hello to us
Listen,
real
guys,
quick.
This is what I know for sure. Nobody is promised tomorrow. So while we're here, We have to live and love and be grateful and appreciate and spread as much light as we can, even if we don't feel like it. Like some days I gotta hit myself in the head. Ow, ow.
What is going on? I turned my back for
We're
a
all
second.
in this together, guys. Let's love one another.
Silvana loves
Let's light it up.
life. She loves her family. She loves spreading goodness and light to everybody. And why not, man? And we need people like Silvana, a lot more like her around, to tell you the truth.
And Al Lambert and Lynn Portis, they lit me on fire.
Yes.
Plus, our studio has a lot of fire all around.
Oh,
Let's
boy.
go.
She is
Let's go.
on fire.
Sa, sa.
When they made
you,
her,
guys.
guys, you know the rest. She has her stars in her eyes. The beautiful Silvana Mastrolia.
Forever. Don't ever lose.
I'm Chris DePierro.
The stars.
Thank you to Al Lambert.
in
Thank
your
you to
eyes.
Lenore Lambert. Check out
Thank
the
you.
Staten Island Beauty Pageant coming up in November. Hopefully,
And Lynn Portis.
a beautiful Lynn Portis for hanging in there all night with great stories and just
And
her
genius.
just vibing with Mr. Lambert together. And like I said, go on his Facebook page, check him out, see everything that he does, and you'll be happy you did. Guarantee. Here it is. That's not it. Is this it? No, that's not it either. We're gonna add this in there. I think I closed it, but this is our
Thank
new
you, guys.
theme music, guy, written by Lynn Portis.
Yes.
Dig it.
I dig it so much.
I told her I want some of your piano in there. Just throw some of piano. You know, no
Oh, my
synthesizer, nothing like that. I want piano.
Look
You
at
know,
this.
those old classic disco songs had piano in them. You know, you can actually hear it. It wasn't an organ or anything. But, and I told her, I want deep bass in there, boy. I want something that rocks the car when you're driving. Gives your hiney a massage while you're going down the turnpike.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Guys,
Miss
thanks so
Portis.
much. Yeah, that's Silvana. Look at it.
Portis, so amazing.
Uh-oh. That's when we have to stop. When she starts complimenting me, we got to get going. Come on.